Hello and welcome back to Conversations at the Park. My name is Kevin Peters. I'm one of the ministers here at the Park Church of Christ in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's good to be with you guys tonight. We have an amazing story to share with you guys tonight that I know you're going to be blessed by. But first, we have a few announcements we want to get to. To start off, tonight's going to be the final installment of the Conversations at the Park. We've had an absolute blast doing these this summer, and I hope they've been a blessing to you. If you haven't been able to catch all of them, you can find all of them on the Park Church of Christ YouTube channel, and just a lot of really neat, fun, inspiring, encouraging conversations that we've been able to have this summer. So it's been a lot of fun. Go check those out. Next week, we're going to take a short break, at least from our conversations. We may have something to give you guys next week, but this will be the final installment of our actual Conversations series. Because in 2 weeks, and this is the special announcement that some of you were looking for tonight, in 2 weeks, September 2nd, Wednesday night, we want to invite you all here to our building. That's right. We want you here, just like you come on Sunday morning. We're going to do masks and distance and all that kind of thing. But we are going to start up Real Faith on Wednesday nights live here at the park, starting on September 2nd at 7 p.m. That's been a series we do every year during the fall. If you're not familiar with our Real Faith series, we explore biblical truths through the lens of popular movies. And it's fun, it's relaxing, but I promise, spiritually speaking, it is incredibly worth your time to be here for an encouraging, inspiring lesson, some good fellowship. So we are really looking forward to 2 weeks from tonight on September 2nd of 2020, gathering back again on Wednesday nights here at the park. Now, we did have a conversation like we normally do on Zoom with one of our missionaries. But there were some technical difficulties with the internet in Central America. And so we didn't get to have a full extended conversation. So we're only going to be able to show you just a little bit of that. But this is a story that's worth sharing and worth telling tonight. A former teacher and elder of mine, Harold Shank, said that someone told him maybe one of the greatest things that could happen to you in your life is you bringing someone to Christ. Well, he would take that a step farther and say maybe the greatest thing that could happen to you is someone you lead to Christ leading someone else to Christ. Well, we have an amazing story to share with you today. For years, this church met at 51st and Sheridan and did 50 years of ministry there, reaching out all over the world, but also very locally through lots of different ministries. One of the ministries that we ran every week for many years was our food bank. Well, in 2007, a pregnant woman showed up at the food bank needing some help. And so our members there that were volunteering at the food bank helped her, and didn't just take care of her needs at the time with food, but treated her with dignity, respect, in a way that caught her attention and made her want to come to church. And so, speaking little to no English, she attended our Iglesia de Cristo, our Hispanic ministry, on Sunday morning, and attended there for a number of weeks. Well, it came time for her to have her baby, and our Iglesia de Cristo ministry threw her a baby shower. And her live-in boyfriend at the time, who had not been to church yet, decided that he would come to the baby shower. And so he came and saw the amount of love that was poured out onto his girlfriend, onto his future son, which made him want to also come to church. So they started coming to church. And that is an amazing story. But that's barely the beginning. And at this point, I'll turn it over to our conversation with Santos Palacios and his family, with help interpreting from Francisco Davila, our Hispanic minister here at the park.
Ya. Luego que teníamos ya un año de estarlo reuniendo, me deportaron a mi esposa para El Salvador.
1 year after I start reunion in Park Plaza, my wife was deported to El Salvador.
Ya. Entonces, el hermano Francisco habló conmigo y me decía que era importante que yo estuviera con ella aquí en El Salvador.
Mom Francisco was with me at that time, and he encouraged me how important it is to go to El Salvador, and so Gabriel grow up with father and mother.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Para mí era difícil porque la vida aquí es muy diferente que allá.
For me, it's very difficult because the life here in El Salvador is very difficult, very different than the United States.
Pero que gracias al Señor ya tenía un poquito de conocimiento de la palabra y me puse a pensar algo bien importante.
Well, thank God that at that time I have a little bit of knowledge of the Word of God, and I start thinking about it before I left.
Lo primero que se me vino a la mente fue la historia de Moisés.
The first thing that happened to come into my mind was the story of Moses.
Okay, que Moisés iba a ser coronado como faraón y él renunció a todo eso por estar con Dios. Entonces dije yo, si él lo hizo, ¿por qué no lo puedo hacer yo?
I saw the Moses that story. He resigned to all the Pharaoh and Egypt pleasures and things to go with God. And then Santos said that he did it. Why I cannot do it?
He gave up all the pleasures of Pharaoh's life of Egypt for God. And so why can't I do it too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Luego que llego a El Salvador, comencé a trabajar en seguridad.
When I started in El Salvador, I started a security job of security.
Okay.
Trabajando como seguridad, en un par de años el hermano me habla que si quería ir a estudiar teología.
So after 2 years in El Salvador, I called him and said, hey, do you want to go to theology school to study? We was thinking of Baxter.
Right. So talking about going to theology school at the Baxter Institute in Honduras.
Yeah.
Ya. Luego renuncio a la empresa, me voy a estudiar y luego me mandan para Jiquilisco, una ciudad del departamento de Zulután, para acompañar a unos hermanos en el ministerio, en el desarrollo de mi vocación.
Okay, when he was to study and he will graduate from Baxter, we sent him to Jiquilisco. It's another city in the same state, Jiquilisco, to be practiced with other congregation, practicing there, helping in the ministry.
So he graduates from Baxter and goes and works side by side with the congregation to learn ministry.
To learn ministry,
wow.
Practice in the field, and be with the people.
Yeah.
And ¿cuántos años tuviste ahí? How many
3
years? 3 years with the
3
years.
Ya, después de 3 años, ya teníamos la idea o teníamos el pensamiento de establecer la obra de Cristo aquí en Puerto El Triunfo.
We already have I remember this, at the beginning, we have the vision to establish a church in El Salvador. Puerto El Triunfo was in our mind because no church there is closed. And from that state, Lydia from that state, the same state,
from Puerto.
No, for Usulután. Puerto Triunfo is a city in the state.
God, okay.
So we already had that vision.
Okay.
After 3 years, it's opened the door.
Wow. They worked alongside that church for 3 years before their vision of moving to the difficult area of Puerto El Triunfo, El Salvador, would become a reality. So today, Santos works as the preaching minister at the church in Puerto El Triunfo, or in English, the Port of Triumph, the Port of Victory in El Salvador. And he is one of the missionaries that we support with Sowing for Eternity. I have a couple takeaways from this story. One, Sowing for Eternity is a big deal at our church. It supports our missionaries all over the world. Our church runs on a 51-week budget because 1 week, our entire budget and then some are dedicated to our missionaries. So if you have supported Sowing for Eternity in the past, the ways you can be involved in Sowing for Eternity: you can pray, you can encourage, you can give, and you can go. If you've been involved in our missions program at any level, if you've prayed, if you've encouraged, if you've been able to give financially, thank you. Because you're allowing people like Santos and Lydia and their son if you have given in any way to our Sowing for Eternity effort, thank you. Because you are allowing people like Santos and Lydia and their son Gabriel to do ministry. If you have given, if you've supported our Sowing for Eternity effort in any way, thank you. Because you're allowing disciples like Santos and Lydia and their son Gabriel to make disciples who make disciples who make disciples. And if you haven't been able to be directly involved in one of our mission efforts by praying, encouraging, giving, going, I really want to encourage you to do that. This church supports missions heavily, and it is an absolute blessing to see the rewards that God brings from that and the disciples that are made through those efforts. So thank you. My second takeaway: what would change in your life if you saw everyone you know through the eyes of faith? If you saw everyone you met through the eyes of faith? It would have been very, very easy to dismiss a pregnant woman coming needing help with her groceries as just another local that needs some help. Sure, we can help someone with a smile, and we can, and we should, but that's different than seeing someone in their purpose and their identity as a child of God and seeing them through the eyes of faith and not who they are, but what they're becoming. Who can you look at today through the eyes of faith? And how will that change the way that you interact with them? The way you treat someone today could have eternal dividends for people you've never met. Let's see each other today, and all those we meet, and all those we watch online, and all those who we see making mistakes. Let's see them through the eyes of faith, for not just who they are, but for what they're becoming, for who God is making them to be. Love you guys. Look forward to seeing you guys here live on September 2nd. Blessings. Have a great night.
Yes, he's guiding me to